Welcome, everybody, to another interesting day on planet Earth. And I'm just wondering how you're going at the moment, because I'm feeling the intensity of the energies that are currently happening. In fact, I'm seeing from a lot of people that they are also experiencing. So in the last 2 days, there have been not just intense energies with the Schumann resonance, which was up at 120 hertz, where it's usually 7.83 hertz. So we're definitely getting pounded by different frequencies, where there's also been solar flares, but more importantly, the collective consciousness and their thinking has had a major impact on our energies. And I found myself in the last couple of days having to have an afternoon nap because the pressure around my head was so great that I just had to close my eyes. And as soon as I did that, I felt like there was tingling coming right through my body. And for me, that's always a sign that there's some upgrading going on. And you might have also experienced at night having trouble getting to sleep. Even though your body feels like it's tired, your head is far too active. And I've had that experience this week. And actually, my hubby last night, he also had that experience and couldn't get to bed till after 2. So I know I'm not alone with that, with this. You probably may have experienced that as well. And so last night, or yesterday, I should say, in our New Earth Academy classes, we were working on future events using Grigori Grabovoi's device, the PRK1U. And we were looking into the infinite future. So we're remote viewing and placing ourselves in the infinite future and watching what was happening to humanity. And we were using the matter of eternity to absolutely harmonize any, or we could see lights that weren't on for people as if the light of their soul wasn't on. We were sharing with them the matter of eternity to create a massive network around the planet where there, instead of being this lockdown and heavy 3-dimensional energy, which is currently happening, to overlay a 5-dimensional new earth, call it golden age, call it field of eternity over the whole planet. And there's many of us who have devices that are doing this on the planet, and especially in our group, because we've been intensely working with this over the last couple of months. Now, why it's really important at the moment is because if you look into the outer world as an indication of what's happening, it does feel like the box is getting smaller and smaller. And I know people get frightened by, a lot of the globalists and their talk. But if we go back, as I said to the group last night, if you go back 3 years ago, we had a lot of fear programmed into the collective consciousness. And they told us people were going to drop dead in the streets and there'd be massive people leaving the planet left, right, and center because of a terrible, invisible germ that was going to, or virus that was going to affect us. I have to watch my words because I've been censored so many times. And when you look back, it didn't quite roll out how they said it was, no matter how much they tried to coerce people. And people had been popping with their thinking is like, okay, there's something really going on here, and it isn't for the benefit of humanity at all. And I like to think of the things that have been happening over the last 3 years, but longer than that, as themes. And what's the current theme at the moment? The current theme at the moment is pressure with money. And we're certainly needing a restructure of money, and that is happening in the background, but not with the globalist elites who would like to have us all digitized, have QR codes for everything, chips in our arms, in our heads, and basically have a cashless society. This is all shifting, and people are realizing what their sovereignty is. And I'm talking about that your spiritual sovereignty and your spiritual integrity, which is really important at this time. Integrity to be able to stand up even when you know it counters what the general thinking is of people, to stand up and say, you know what, I don't think like you, but I'm not going to shrink back to make you feel more comfortable. It's being almost like a warrior, where you're having to stand up and say, no, this is who I am. I have a right to believe what I believe. And I have a greater source of information, not just from the mainstream media, but the information that comes via your consciousness, via your intuition. I was listening to one of the people I listened to yesterday, who described consciousness in a very good way for people to understand. You see, when we mention consciousness, most people think it's something that's located just in your head. And consciousness is not located in your head, it's everywhere. And a few months back, when I was teaching the group, the academy group, about Grabovoi's teachings about really bilocating in your consciousness, to be able to see yourself behind the computer once you're looking at the screen, to be able to see yourself looking at yourself on the computer from behind the door. You know, this is what the Russians, the Americans have trained in remote viewing for a very long time. And I know they didn't teach you that at school, but the power of our consciousness is so extraordinary, which is why we have this spiritual war on consciousness, to harness it. And I know if you're listening to any of my videos in the past, I've been talking about this stealing of our consciousness into an agenda and keeping us in lower vibrational emotions like fear, where we're resonating in very low hertz, around 20 or 100 hertz, which is absolutely devolving our consciousness when we are far more powerful. Now, I like to think, and I have said, when they apply more pressure to us, it's because they're frightened of what's happening and they cannot stop what's happening. What's happening is an evolution in consciousness. It's an evolution of planet Earth, which also has its own consciousness, and they can't stop that from happening. Now, next week is on the 21st, is the, depending where you are here in Australia, it's the winter eclipse in Cancer. And Cancer, you know, if you know anything about astrology, Cancer has a very strong, hard shell on the outside, but has a lot of emotion and very squishy and ishy on the inside, very soft on the inside. And they protect themselves with this hard exterior. So if you know anybody with Cancer who is Cancer, I know that you can relate to that. So next Wednesday, I'm going to hold 2 solstice activations. So whether you're in the Northern Hemisphere or whether you're in the Southern Hemisphere where we are, we will be holding 2 activations to shift the consciousness using the PRK1 device. What it will do will help to remove any distortions in your consciousness, perhaps that have been through your own thinking or through programming, subliminally or consciously by the cabal systems to dumb us down. And at the same time, we're going to raise the frequency of the planet by using the device, which basically puts you at 0 point, or the field of love. And in that, it's as some of the guys experienced last night when we were having feedback time, it was like, I felt so much joy in my life. I felt my heart open. There was this huge expansion. I just felt that I was in the field of love. And this is the field that is really powerful, that they don't want us to be in, and they can't stop it because we are evolving anyway. But they will try to create as much chaos and pressure on us as well. So this is why not only are we feeling from a 3D perspective a lot of pressure, but there is a lot of shifting in the spiritual realms. And when I say this is a war in the spiritual realms, it absolutely is. And for those who know, you know, because you've researched and seen. And for those that don't know, oops, I'm getting a lot of sun on me now. And those that don't know, well, I'm sure you'll find out shortly that we have definitely off-world people that have assisted us and also tried to stop us as well. That is a big topic and not something that I'm going to get into. Now, if you would like to come to the activations, the 2 activations, I'm going to put the link below. As I said, we'll be using, and I'll give you special access to the PRK1U device for you to use at this time. And not only that, I'd love you to bring an amethyst crystal if you have it as well, because crystals are also not just inanimate objects. They are frequency, they hold frequencies, and they also hold programs. So we're going to absolute program the amethyst crystal that you have, and so that it can be around you, especially in these times, because even though we're not in the solstice season, I guess, as of next week, we're still influenced somewhere between the 20th to the 24th. We're still getting the strong activations at this time. So crystals are really great to have around you. I have them with me. I have amethyst. Usually I've got the crystal I use every time I have a webinar that I hold, that I use before I speak. And so bring that with you, because you'll be able to have that around you wherever you are. If you've got something to wear, that's great. If you haven't, if it's just a small piece of amethyst, just bring that around you as well, because we can remove the program that is currently in there and install the field of eternity that's absolutely available to you. So I'm going to put that link down there if you'd like to join us. In the meantime, please listen to what your body's telling you. If your body's telling you you need to rest, even though your head will try to whip you into action and keep you going, it's really important to take that time to, lie down, rest, even if it's for 10 minutes, just closing your eyes. It's absolutely refreshing to do that. Also, what is important is to drink lots of beautiful, clean water. And because every disease in the body is mostly because you're dehydrated. So lots of water, 2 to 3 litres a day. I know some people will go into shock over that. And also really clean food. So it's really important as we go into this time of the solstice that our body is as clean as it can. So as much live food from the garden as you can gather and place on your plate. And I've also, over every plate, we also put an intention that we're having all the nutritional value up to the Creator's norm into that. So if you don't know how to do that, it's very easy. And a beautiful, if I've got it here, a beautiful little tool. It's called, of Grabovoi's, called a cone cube. It's a small cube inside a cone, inside a cube. And basically, in your consciousness, you can place it over your food and put your intention there, bringing the value of the food up to the highest level, to the norm of the Creator, meaning that it has all the vitamins, trace minerals, elements that you need for your body to rejuvenate and regenerate. That's just one of the tools that we use in a big toolbox of tools. And so I just want you to have an awesome day and just prepare for this activation. Be gentle with yourself. Step out of any of the dramas in the outer world. I know people are getting really pressured and feel like there's an urgency because it feels like something's going to happen. It's in massive anticipation that was happening. This is what I had the feedback from the group last night. There's an anticipation of what will happen. Not sure what it will happen, but we have to understand we have an invisible realm also that is working for us. So whether it's your angels or your guides or the beautiful different federations of different galactic beings who are here to support the absolute transformation of dark into light for all humans and also our solar system. So I'm going to leave it there for now because I'm going to have the sun in my eyes in a moment, and hope you have a wonderful day. And as I said, drop into next week's 2 activations. The first one's in the morning Australia time at 9:30 till 10:30, and then Australia time evening, it will be 7:30 to 8:30. So very powerful time on our device of eternity of Grigori Grabovoi. Have a fabulous day. Lots of love, and see you again.